The Oscars, Hollywood's biggest night, where the industry's finest are honored for their work on the silver screen. But even the Academy doesn't always get it right, especially when it comes to the Best Actress category. Some of the most legendary performances have gone unrecognized. Today we're looking at 10 shocking Best Actress snubs that left movie lovers everywhere asking, how did they miss this one? 1. Judy Garland in A Star is Born, 1954. First up, Judy Garland, one of Hollywood's most beloved stars, delivered a career-defining performance in A Star is Born. As Esther Blodgett, a singer struggling to make it in showbiz while dealing with the emotional turmoil of her husband's downward spiral, Garland showcased raw emotion and depth rarely seen at the time. Her heartbreaking performance, paired with her powerful voice, left audiences in awe. Many believe this was Garland's big comeback after a troubled period in her personal life and her chance to finally win an Oscar. But in a shocking twist, she lost to Grace Kelly for The Country Girl. Kelly's subtle, understated role was impressive, but many still argue that Garland's unforgettable portrayal in A Star is Born should have taken the gold. 2. Marilyn Monroe in Some Like It Hot, 1959.
And my spine turns to custard. I get goose pimply all over, and I come to him.
Next, we have Marilyn Monroe, who is often remembered more for her status as a sex symbol than her acting abilities. However, in Some Like It Hot, Monroe completely flipped the script with her comedic prowess. As Sugar Cane Kowalczyk, Monroe brought a blend of innocence, wit, and sex appeal that elevated the film into one of the greatest comedies of all time. Her performance, particularly her impeccable timing and vulnerability, surprised many who had underestimated her acting range. Yet despite Monroe's standout performance, she wasn't even nominated. That year, the award went to Simone Signoret for Room at the Top, leaving fans wondering why one of the most iconic comedic performances in history was overlooked.
Oh, yes, quite. You know, Bryn Mawr, Vassar. We're just doing this for a lark.
3. Audrey Hepburn in My Fair Lady, 1964.
What I say is, them as pinched it, done her in.
Audrey Hepburn enchanted audiences in My Fair Lady as Eliza Doolittle, a Cockney flower girl transformed into a proper lady. Hepburn's portrayal was delightful, offering a balance of charm, humor, and vulnerability. Her transformation in the film, both physically and emotionally, was captivating. However, Hepburn didn't sing her own songs in the film, which caused some controversy at the time. Despite her elegant and iconic performance, Hepburn wasn't even nominated for an Oscar. Ironically, Julie Andrews, who had originated the role on Broadway, but was passed over for the film version, took home the Oscar for Mary Poppins that year. It's a decision that still baffles many, given Hepburn's unforgettable portrayal of Eliza Doolittle.
Don't you think so, Higgins?
4. Mia Farrow in Rosemary's Baby, 1968.
Nah, you took it! You lied! You witches!
Mia Farrow's portrayal of Rosemary Woodhouse in Roman Polanski's Rosemary's Baby is often regarded as one of the most haunting performances in film history. Farrow perfectly captured the fear, paranoia, and confusion of a young woman who slowly realizes that her pregnancy is part of a satanic ritual. Her subtle yet chilling descent into terror is unforgettable. The emotional and psychological complexity of the role required Farrow to carry much of the film on her shoulders, and she did so with incredible poise and vulnerability. Yet she didn't even receive a nomination for her performance. Instead, the Best Actress Oscar went to Katharine Hepburn for The Lion in Winter. Hepburn's performance was certainly commanding, but Farrow's work in Rosemary's Baby remains one of the most significant snubs in the horror genre.
In the wrong position. The hospital, I might have been able to do something about it, but you wouldn't listen.
5. Bette Midler in The Rose, 1979. Bette Midler delivered a raw and emotional performance in The Rose, portraying a self-destructive rock star battling addiction and personal demons. Loosely based on the life of Janis Joplin, Midler's portrayal was powerful, authentic, and heartbreakingly tragic. The intensity with which Midler tackled this role, particularly the devastating toll that fame and substance abuse took on her character, left a lasting impression on viewers. Midler's powerhouse voice and emotional vulnerability shone in this role, marking her as a serious contender for the Best Actress Oscar. However, she lost to Sally Field for Norma Ray. Field's role was impactful, but Midler's fiery and tragic portrayal in The Rose is still remembered as one of her finest performances, and a major Oscar snub. 6. Sigourney Weaver in Aliens, 1986. Sigourney Weaver's portrayal of Ellen Ripley in Aliens redefined what it meant to be a strong female character in cinema. Weaver delivered a performance that blended intense physicality with emotional depth, particularly in her portrayal of Ripley's maternal instincts toward the young girl, Newt. In a genre often overlooked by the Academy, Weaver brought complexity and vulnerability to an action-packed role, making Ripley a groundbreaking figure for women in film. Her nomination for Best Actress was groundbreaking in itself for a sci-fi film, but despite her stellar performance, Weaver lost to Marlee Matlin for Children of a Lesser God. Matlin's performance was extraordinary, but Weaver's turn as Ripley has since become iconic, especially for the genre, leaving many to wonder if the Academy missed out on recognizing her monumental contribution to cinema. Seven. Glenn Close in Fatal Attraction, 1987.
I've got to see you.
This is gonna stop.
No, it's not going to stop. It's going to go on and on.
She keeps calling me apart.
Glenn Close gave us one of the most chilling performances of the 1980s with her portrayal of Alex Forrest in Fatal Attraction. As the obsessive and dangerously unstable woman who embarks on an affair with a married man, Close created a character who was both terrifying and tragically human. Her ability to blend vulnerability with an unsettling intensity made Alex Forrest one of the most memorable and terrifying characters in film history. Close's performance raised important questions about mental health and obsession, but despite her groundbreaking portrayal, she lost the Best Actress Oscar to Cher for Moonstruck. While Cher's performance was beloved, Close's performance in Fatal Attraction remains one of the greatest psychological performances to go unrewarded by the Academy.
Let's be friends.
8. Michelle Pfeiffer in The Fabulous Baker Boys, 1989.
Of us, he answers twice.
Michelle Pfeiffer's sultry, stunning performance as Susie Diamond in The Fabulous Baker Boys earned her critical acclaim and a nomination. Pfeiffer's portrayal of a lounge singer trying to rise above the smoky bars and failing relationships was both vulnerable and captivating. Her rendition of Makin' Whoopi became iconic, and her chemistry with co-stars Jeff and Beau Bridges added depth to the film. Pfeiffer's ability to mix seduction with a sense of brokenness made her portrayal unforgettable. Despite being a frontrunner, Pfeiffer lost to Jessica Tandy for Driving Miss Daisy. Tandy's win was historic, but Pfeiffer's performance in The Fabulous Baker Boys remains one of her most revered roles, and one that many believe should have taken home the Oscar.
Yeah. Oh, and Valley High went out with the bathwater, too.
9. Naomi Watts in Mulholland Drive, 2001. Naomi Watts stunned critics and audiences alike with her performance in David Lynch's Mulholland Drive. Playing a wide-eyed, aspiring actress who descends into a nightmarish psychological breakdown, Watts's range in the film was remarkable. Her ability to switch between innocence, desperation, and eerie surrealism made her performance one of the most talked about of the year. Yet shockingly, Watts wasn't even nominated for an Oscar. That year, the Best Actress Oscar went to Halle Berry for Monsters Ball, another powerful performance. But for many fans of Lynch's film, Watts's layered and complex portrayal remains one of the biggest Oscar snubs in recent memory.
Maybe there's something about it in the papers. Come on, I'll buy you a cup of coffee and we can see.
10th, Toni Collette in Hereditary, 2018. Toni Collette's performance in Hereditary was nothing short of astonishing. As a grieving mother unraveling in the face of unspeakable horror, Collette delivered one of the most emotionally intense and terrifying performances in recent memory. Her portrayal of a woman whose family is haunted by trauma and dark secrets was both emotionally devastating and terrifying. Collette's ability to capture the complexities of grief, guilt, and terror in such a visceral way left audiences speechless. Despite the critical acclaim, Collette didn't receive a nomination for her work. The award that year went to Olivia Colman for The Favorite, which was a beloved performance, but many still argue that Collette's work in Hereditary was a masterpiece that deserved the gold. And there you have it, 10 legendary performances that left us all wondering how the Academy could have possibly missed them. Do you agree with our list? Which performance do you think was the biggest snub? Which actress do you think will be remembered as one of the greatest Oscar snubs of all time? And do you think genre performances, especially in horror and sci-fi, are still overlooked by the Academy? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into Hollywood's rich history of iconic performances. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.